All eyes on the midterms tomorrow and what happens at the polls. Well, it certainly is going to have an impact on the stock market no matter what. So we've got these different scenarios. And one, of course, what if the GOP keeps the House and the Senate or loses control of both? One or both, who knows? Where the opportunities are going to lie for investors. Here to help answer those questions, our experts. Kelly & Co. Managing Partner Kevin Kelly, S&P Equity Chief Investment Officer Aaron Gibbs, and Payne Capital Management Senior Wealth Manager Michelle McKinnon. Let me start with you, Aaron. All right, let's just go through the scenarios. First scenario, Republicans keep the House and the Senate. What does the market do, and where do you think people want to be in terms of stocks?
For any result, really, I think is going to be pretty minimal on the markets. What we're really looking for is a lack of uncertainty. Yeah, sure. In general, if either the Senate or the House goes to Democrats, you have more gridlock. That's generally good because there's just less change. So there's less uncertainty because you're just going to have less changes in the marketplace.
Is there an area or stock that you like, though, in that kind of scenario?
You know, we're looking at bigger picture that, look, we're looking at massive deceleration of growth going into next year. I think when people really start looking at what we're looking at now, 8.5% profit growth for next year. When you go from 22 to 8, things are going to slow down.
But the operative word is still growth.
Yeah,
so you're still in the market.
Yeah, you're still in the market, but one of the things is moving away from technology. The semis are really looking to have one of their worst years next year. So I think that's going to be a big drag on that. And looking to be more defensive, looking at your value names. So we're looking at some utilities, some staples, just shoring
names
up your
that are
portfolio.
actually holding the market up today. Real estate, utilities, staples, those names are holding the market up today. I'm very impressed with this session, by the way. So, Michelle, you got these scenarios. The Republicans keep the House, which would be shocking, but I would love to see the faces on major mainstream media. I would be watching all the channels just to see. Or there's the conventional wisdom is saying that the Dems get the House, and to Aaron's point, maybe you get gridlock. How do you see it playing out for the broad market, and are there specific areas people should be in?
Yeah, I agree with Aaron, not to create more boringness here, but really I think at the end of the day, the markets are looking at earnings and the markets are looking at the economy, and things are really strong. And to Aaron's point, talking about if the Dems take the House and the Republicans keep the Senate, you've got gridlock. Markets usually like gridlock. The Republicans
Is there anything that could come out of D.C., though, policy-wise, with that kind of combination that would be different than what we've seen in the first 2 years? In other words, would that be the right combination to get sort of infrastructure spending?
Well, yeah, and that would be positive. I mean, if you actually got infrastructure, which I know Trump has been saying for a long time now, maybe he could work with the Democrats to get infrastructure. You know, it's hard to say, but I think that would actually be positive for the market.
Right, because, Kevin, what I'm looking at is last week, some of these material names that have been devastated, up huge, up like Vulcan Materials, Martin Marietta, up through the roof. Some of those kind of names, in part to earnings, but maybe also in anticipation that if anything gets done in that sort of a gridlock environment, maybe that's one of the things that can happen.
Yeah, infrastructure has been talked about since 2016, right? And it's a key signature thing that needs to be addressed. But I don't understand the notion of where gridlock is good. Gridlock is exceptionally bad, especially because what fiscal policies have taken hold from this Congress as well as this administration, right? Why do we have great jobs numbers? Why is the economy humming along? Why are we out of secular stagnation, as the previous administration said? Because we're out of a gridlock, right? So
no.
I completely, yes, absolutely.
Jumping to that conclusion is completely incorrect. It has more to do with the Fed. And the fact, look, we've had tax reform, yes, but...
So you're saying the Financial Services Committee getting into gridlock with Maxine Waters coming in, where at the same time, if we keep it in Republican control, they can actually enact more deregulation where all these small banks don't have to meet these thresholds. I mean, I don't understand where you can talk about...
And financials are down. Like, financials are being hurt.
Financials will go up.
And we haven't had gridlock, and yet the financials are still hurting.
Well, then let me ask you this, Michelle. If the Dems were to win the House and the Senate, you don't think that would have a negative impact on the market?
I think it'd be uncertainty in the short term. But at the end of the day...
I mean, a knee-jerk reaction would be certainly to the downside.
Right, and that might actually be opportunity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, markets are slave to earnings, not political headlines.
Is there a group of stock or individual stocks that you like no matter what the outcome is tomorrow?
I mean, I like value, and I hate to say it, Charles, I think more broader, longer term. I like the foreign markets this year. They've been really beaten up by all the news.
But that's so big. If we have someone sitting at home right now and they've got enough money to buy a couple of stocks, okay,
I mean,
you've narrowed it down to 6 continents.
I like indexes.
4 billion people and 3,000 companies. Okay, thank you. Aaron?
Well, I've talked about this. I love Constellation Brands. I think they've been doing some really interesting plays for a beverage company. And now, certainly, they're trying to get into the cannabis world. And then First Energy, it's a utility company, but they're doing some transitioning, getting rid of some bankruptcy areas. And so that actually looks like a really nice company.
I mean, no matter where you go, you want to buy the backbone of the internet. Equinix, they just reported earnings. They had their 63rd quarter of consecutive revenue growth. It is the backbone of the internet that provides cloud, Internet of Things. And so think about who their customers are. It's Amazon, it's Microsoft, it's Google. It's the interconnection that happens. So no matter what happens, those companies are going to continue to build out their cloud infrastructure.
And it's part of the utilities index?
No. That's actually, it's a
real
REIT.
estate?
Yeah, it's
real estate.
Yeah, so this goes back to it's up today. REITs are doing very well.
Doing very
and the
well.
nice dividend, too. You got to think about that.
I interviewed the CEO like 5 years ago. The stock is through the roof since then.
Yeah, another way to play off of that, too, is AMT. They're the cell phone tower.
That's the number one performer today in the real estate.
Exactly.
All right, thank you both, all three, very much. Kevin, Aaron, and Michelle.